Welcome to Absurdly Fit, where laughs collide with wellness wisdom. Join former elite triathlete Krista Schultz and performance coach Bryan Anthony as they share decades of expertise in fitness, health, and performance, bringing you engaging tips, stories, and inspiration to reach your full potential. I'm Krista Schultz, and I am a friend of Bryan Anthony's.
And I'm Bryan Anthony, and I am a friend of Krista Schultz.
Yes. So, Bryan.
We always start so funny. It's all good.
Yes.
So I liked what you just brought up as far as sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the true topic of it, though? I mean, we all sleep, but
Well, thinking about the things that create wellness for individuals, sleep is one of the most important things. And everybody says it. Oh, I need to get more sleep. I'm not getting enough sleep. But in reality, it's everything. It's so important to function, for brain function. I remember I went to this course for the National Strength and Conditioning Association. They were talking about different things that affect your brain and fatigue. And they showed these CT scans of the brain. There were two of them. One was from a person who went out and had a binge night of drinking. And the other one was a person who just had no sleep the night before. And the frontal lobes show less brain activity in the person who had less sleep than the binge night of drinking. So, Therefore, it's not as safe to drive if you've been tired versus drunk. That was
right, because once you were drunk and you got home, you passed out hard.
Right.
You got really good sleep.
No.
Interesting. Well, I just recently saw it on a game show. They said, what is necessary for a human being to have, and of course, food and water and all this stuff. But sleep was pretty much number two,
right,
next to food. And I think that's just because of it being a game show. But I have noticed that when I actually drink less sugary things at a late night, I sleep better. If I have too much sugar in my diet, I notice that I'm up and out and up and up. It's harder for me to get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I don't sleep well. It just means I'm up 5-6 times throughout the night versus maybe once to use the restroom or twice to use the restroom.
Good point.
What's your feeling on, if you were more active through the day, if you had a healthier diet, then you'll probably sleep better. But is that necessarily true? If you have family drama, you have stress of outside of that, your health, your own personal, physical, it's amazing the amount of things that can create a lack of sleep.
Absolutely. And that's a nice segue into what I wanted to talk about with sleep and some of these healthy habits, is that a routine is very helpful because stuff's going to come up all the time. Like you said, family drama, those are things outside of our control.
Right.
But what we can control are the times where we don't have all that going on necessarily, but we start to develop some kind of a routine. So by that, I mean, before you go to bed, what are you doing? Are you thinking about what time you have to go to bed? When did you eat? When did you feed your children? When, how many hours do you have before sleep time before you ate your last meal? Are you trying to snack up until the moment you go to bed? Are you watching a movie? Like, what are the things you're doing before you go to sleep? Yeah. Like, what do you do, Bryan? What's
your routine?
Do you have a routine? Do you I know, because you have a daughter. And
I try to have a routine with her, which probably puts me on a little bit more of a routine. I now prefer to, except for obviously when I was working in Europe, that changes your whole routine, right, your whole life. But my routine here has been with Eden. I like to eat earlier because I want her to eat earlier, which means dinner is somewhere between 5 and 6 p.m. Dinner.
So you've got
5 and 6 p.m. That way she's in the bath in a perfect world by 7:30. That means I've given her at least 2 hours to an hour 40, from her dinner.
Yeah.
And then it's back, and then it's wind down and read. So for me, I've kind of evolved into having an earlier dinner.
Okay.
Now, there are nights where I don't always fall asleep with her at the 8:30 time. And, well, I do fall asleep with her, excuse me, but then I'm not out for the night. I wake up and I'll want to watch a program at like 10 o'clock, 10:30. So now I have this other side of what routine I like to have with her, because I do like to pass out by 8:30, 9 o'clock and call it a night. And my meal was a few hours ago. I don't always use the restroom other than peeing, but the minute I wake up, my system's good.
Right.
I use the restroom and I'm good to go for the day. I like that. It's when I stay up till like that 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, it throws everything off. So I try to have a routine. That was a long-winded
that's
way
great.
to get
That's
there.
a great example, because a lot of people have children, and I know a lot of my clients, when they come in sometimes the next day and they look groggy, like what happened, what's going on. And a lot of times I do hear, my son or daughter got up and wasn't feeling well or wanted to get in bed with me, and I had a terrible night's sleep because of that. So again, those are things that happen, and having the routines for your children are just as important as having them for you, because they're going to affect your sleep. So
big time.
That's a huge,
big time.
Huge, good point and good example of getting them in line so you can be in line. And then you mentioned some other things.
It's almost a guideline. You know what I mean? It's like coming up with rules and saying, oh, well, I can't really apply that rule to this situation, but at least I had some sort of guide of, it's like in sports, there's always a referee that calls the play and doesn't call the same play on the other side. It's more, rules are kind of guidelines in an essence.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to have that. Because kids, when we get a little older, our taste buds change, or our hearing changes, or our patience change, or whatever it is. So kids are the same. Just when you think you got it and they're sleeping well, they get to preteen or whatever.
Oh God,
you know what I mean?
So that's a whole other topic, right? We've got the routine for sleep,
but it's good to have a routine.
Yeah,
it's good to have a routine.
Absolutely, And just to bring up a couple other points that you brought up, you mentioned sugar things before you go to bed. You try to, give yourself a few hours after you eat, before you sleep. So those are things that will affect not only what time you go to sleep, but your quality of sleep. If you're drinking heavily, of course, all of that'll, affect your sleep as well. But again, on a daily basis, what time do you stop eating, before you go to bed? Are you thinking about the foods you're eating? Are you watching movies that stimulate your brain and keep you up and keep you thinking?
Right.
Are you reading a book? Are you meditating? Do you exercise right before you go to bed? So those are things to think about. And I just throw those things out there to find out what people are doing. And then I think some of the things that come out of that is, just the awareness. What am I doing? I need to think about that on a regular basis. Am I hydrated? Am I still hungry? Am I waiting too long before I go to bed to eat? Because I can't go to sleep because I'm too hungry.
There is that too.
Yeah, and then you end up eating just before you go to bed, and your sleep gets disrupted as well. So, not saying you have to be strict with it, but even like a little bit of change like that goes a long way for sleep quality and your routine. And I just wanted to point out too, this starts even like earlier in the day with your practices. So a lot of times when I start training people and they get in a consistent routine with their personal training, they like that because they plan around it, because they've taken care of themselves. They're in that routine. Also, I hear a lot that they sleep better. So this is how people that start working out at 5 a.m. or even 12.
I was going to ask.
They sleep better that night.
So it is. It just is. I guess it's my mental is, if you're sitting on the couch or you're sitting at your desk job, or you're sitting a lot throughout the day, you're not really getting enough activity. You're not pumping that heart up. Your other muscles in your body that used to be active are no longer as active. All that kind of stuff. I mean, is it me in my head that says, well, shit, if I'm not running, or I'm not getting some sort of walking a few miles, or if I'm not getting some sort of exercise in that day, or take a dance class or train or whatever it is, I might have a shitty night's sleep.
Right. Yeah.
So then do you work out for an hour if that's your lifestyle?
Right.
If you have that 9 to 5, 9 to 6, and then you finally get home, do you work out for an hour and a half? Do you get some sort of physical burn so that at 9:30 at night you can get a good night's sleep and do it, rinse and repeat?
That's a really good question, because I mentioned, do you exercise before you go to bed? So yeah, that brings up some things that I think I could provide that may be helpful for people. And one of the things I think that it's doable, it's doable. If you can get in about 20 minutes every day of something. So if it's late at night and you don't want to do a HIIT workout, these high intensity circuit workouts for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, how about easy yoga, online meditation, something that gets your body and mind, because this is not only physical, it's psychological and mental when you work out and train. So if you can calm your mind and create some control that way, that a lot of times will help you sleep. So activity, brain activity, body activity, those work together a lot, calming the body. So when you lift weights or you run, you're getting energy out, but you're also relieving your mind. You're clearing your mind. So meditation is good. Yoga is a way to practice meditation physically.
Right.
So that's what I would suggest late at night. If you are really accustomed to a little cardiovascular, your body's used to it, or maybe even a lightweight training workout just before you go to bed, maybe okay for you. Some people might hype them up.
Right.
So
wake them up a little bit. Now they
something.
can't sleep.
Yeah. I mean, choose something that doesn't stimulate you, but makes you feel like you've created an outlet for your body to relax. And that could be a lot of things, a lot of different types of things. Like I mentioned, yoga, meditation, get on your Peloton and spin a little bit, watch a movie. Just something that doesn't, like, not too crazy of a mystery that where you're thinking, what, it's really stimulating your mind, but something that relaxes you, like a TV show maybe you watch, or something like that.
That makes sense. I mean, I'm looking back in just my dance training days and where classes are usually available. It's obviously in the mornings and usually in the very early evenings, late afternoon. And that's about it. You're dancing till maybe 8:30, depending on where you're training. Because the reality is you need to stretch, you need to breathe, you need to relax your muscles, you need to ice, you need to R&R, if you've been physical all day. And obviously dancers are athletes and athletes are athletes, so I'm more of a believer in what you just said as far as what you do at night. I do notice that even when I'm up late, I stretch more during commercials or the show I'm watching, or listening to music or whatever it is, or reading with Eden, and I get on the carpet and I just start stretching just for myself, because your body, when you sleep and you get cramps, or you sleep and you're still tense, that's no fun.
No, and it's nice to have, if you ever use a foam roller, have it right by the couch or by the TV.
I live for it.
Yeah, and that's you're moving, you're active, your blood is flowing, myofascial release, so you're getting some stuff done on there. There's a lot of things you can do on the foam roller. like you mentioned stretch, so there's mobility stuff. I give people these routines all the time. Say do it in the morning or before you go to bed, and that's something else you can throw in there. But if you just think, if I get 20 minutes each day, you can get more, of course.
Yeah.
If you have your training routine, or you work with the trainer, or you go play golf, or you go for a run, go for a bike ride, whatever it is you're doing, at minimum try to get 20 minutes a day. As humans, we need
At
that.
least.
Yeah. Again, it doesn't have to be intense or crazy.
When you're training people, what's the average? 55 minutes, an hour, or do you do an hour and a half to 2 hours?
When I'm doing personal training, it's
Personal
an
training.
hour. An hour at a time.
When you were training yourself for whatever, whether it was doing the long distance running, or whether it was, college or school or sports or whatever, does each sport just require different kinds of intensity? Like football players, I'm sure they lift, and then they go to practice, and then they go, they got to go soak and stretch. It's like, well, I just spent all day being a football player.
Yeah, there's all kind of variations. You get a high school athlete versus a professional athlete. I know when I was training for triathlon at elite level, I was training like 20 to 30 hours a week. So I had a job too. It's a lot of time management. So you learn to not only exercise at particular times, but also fuel yourself and get enough rest. So again, like I mentioned in the beginning, just healthy habit hacks. If you plan your workouts, like even if you don't have a personal trainer, I love it when I can get people to plan their workouts with me, because like I said, everything else kind of falls in place. They take care of themselves. They can do better in their lives. But if you don't have a trainer and you have things you like to do, classes, videos, whatever, plan those out and make them part of your, this is priority, my schedule.
Why do you think it's so challenging for people to give themselves that 20, 30 minutes a day? Is it a mental thing of, well, I have to do my job, or I have to take care of my kid, or my mom needs me, or I have to, but we all preach, if we don't take care of ourselves, we're not going to be capable to take care of anybody else.
Right.
But I find that it's, maybe it's just a social excuse, but why is it so challenging for people to not give themselves 20 minutes a day?
That's a really good question. And I think it's a matter of prioritizing and learning to put yourself first. We could say it's procrastination. There's all kind of excuses where we come up with, well, I don't have time. Kids are more important. This is more important. I have to get this done. My job, I need to do this deadline. But what it comes down to is prioritization, because you have X amount of hours. There's plenty of times where I've talked to people. I just remember talking to a coworker. I'm so busy. I have all this stuff to do. 20, 30 minutes later, after they're talking to me about how busy they are,
they could have worked out.
They could have worked out. Not only could they have worked out, there was a yoga class going on they could have done. They had enough time. Or they could have gone in there. So sometimes it is, procrastination, or not, realizing I do have a lot more time than I think. I just have to be more mindful of putting myself as a priority, and think of it as a way of, okay, I do have to take care of my kids, or I do have to do this project for work. But if I take care of myself just a little bit, I'll be so much more productive, and I won't feel the need to explain why I can't do it as much.
Right.
So it's sort of a paradigm shift, and I work on that. I'm guilty of it as well, which is why I can see it and notice it a lot, and it makes me kind of laugh. But I think the coolest thing is to bring it up to somebody and then have them think about it, and you gradually see them change because of it. Just because they know. So it's kind of a funny thing that there's time to do things, but there's a ton of excuses we can come up with why not. So
Always.
put yourself
Yeah.
first, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. We could figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Figure out how to do a lot of shit in life.
Well, it's
a
like,
lot
okay,
of things.
I have 3.5 hours to do something. Okay, I know I've been putting that off. So, okay, well, I'll go online, I'll pay those bills, I'll take care of that. Great. Okay, that's 40 minutes of my 3.5 hours. So now, there's always a half hour. There's always 40 minutes. There's always
yeah.
time to stretch and do some push-ups.
Yes.
At least that,
Well, I hear, okay, I have all this time, and sometimes I just don't know what to do. So I always tell people, choose you, do your whatever little routine, whatever comes to mind.
Sure.
Whatever feels good, start with that. Because if you've ever read that book, it's so good, The Power of Habit. They talk about these habit loops that we create. And you can't, once you get those neural synapses happening, that habit is always there. It's kind of scary, actually.
Yeah.
The only way to change it, you can't really get rid of it, is to create a new habit. So in order to do that, you supposedly have to have this like reward for yourself. That's the way you motivate creating this habit and create the whole habit loop. But that whole idea of thinking about, okay, I don't know what to do, always gravitate toward, okay, I got to take care of myself, get this done, create that habit. And then what they say in the book is that once you do, let's say you do like 10 minutes of Adrienne's yoga online where she's saying you're stressed out, let's just move, and you get through it. The tendency is to want to do a little more. Oh, maybe I'll get on the foam roller and do some sit-ups or shoulder mobility work.
Because you already started it.
Yeah, so that has been shown to, it's a habit, but there's also an effect that we have where we do something, we just want to get better at it and do more.
Of course.
So that happens, right?
Yeah.
You get your little routine at whatever, 10, 20, 30 minutes, we're going for 20 minutes a day, right? Then all of a sudden, okay, I can work now. I'm so less stressed. I feel better. There's that endorphin rush. I'm thinking about, I'm going to do this for my kids later. Just more productivity is available because you've cleared that out. You've created a better you by doing that, and you've helped not only you, but everyone else around you.
Yeah, you shed a layer of doubt, tiredness. What did you call it when procrastinate?
Mm-hmm.
I love those words.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you on that. I worked out with my daughter when I was in Spain, and all it did was just make me feel like I need to and I want to do this more. Yeah. And it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to feel strong.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah.
Well, it's good. I mean, when you worked out with her, how did you feel? Like when you get the workout with her, which is nice because you're spending time with her, but afterwards, did you feel like you were better with her, or you guys were able
Oh
to?
gosh, yeah. I mean, that's interesting you say it that way a lot, because she's 20 and she's studying psychology, and obviously she's my only 20-year-old, and she's my only studying psychology, so I only know what I know as a human being. And so our conversations, I'll say for myself, I'm a lot more open and aware and breathing and mature, and can take responsibility for my past or be proud of what I've accomplished and all those kind of things. So when you have those conversations, a lot of that has to do with feeling good about yourself too. And working out with her, or just working out in general, or being aware of my physicality that I don't want to lose. It would suck to, I see people with that hunched over walk. I see people that are incredibly obese, and and it's not a laughing matter. It makes me think, how do I not accomplish that?
Right.
How do I, you know what I mean? And when I used to teach dance, I always felt like I was helping those kind of things, for kids and things of that nature. So Yeah, it was really nice being able to communicate and spend time with Cooper and to be able to work out. I could tell that we were doing something physical that she loves and that I enjoy doing with her. And I enjoy doing that for myself at 50, 51 now. So it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I drink a lot more water. I walk every time I golf now. I just wanna be aware of that and not wait till I'm in my 70s.
Yeah, you threw out some really good points. I mean, just kind of working backwards, like drinking water while you're golfing. I mean, these habits that you're creating are doing so much for you in the long run. And I think we talked about in another podcast, like my rule for drinking, you go out and drink for every alcoholic beverage you have, every sip of that, sip water. So that evens out those two and you get a nice balance without even realizing it sometimes.
Yeah.
And then going into, feeling better from working out and being more communicative, clear-headed, just all that stuff is all great stuff. I think in society, it's hard for people when they're feeling bad, right? They don't know how to get themselves out of that. And we gravitate to things like medication or, how do I feel better? I just don't want to feel like this. And not that I know, like, that's my career, that's what I do, teach people to exercise,
Sure.
believe in exercise. But there are so many things that happen when you exercise that cure a lot of these, like, feelings.
Yeah.
And, help so much. So,
You
how
have
do we get there? How do we get people there and get them in those habits, right? That's the
Yeah, I
question.
mean, there's a huge just talking with you and talking with Cooper. I remember Cooper saying, I didn't always eat the healthiest. Now, I may have made her a great lunch for school, but it doesn't mean that that's the lunch that she ate. Kids eat certain things or whatever. I think adults do
They make
too.
trades and stuff.
They totally do. She's got talking. She's got peanut butter. Whatever it is. But I think
Yeah.
adults do that as well. I don't. And what my point that I'm getting to is that Cooper was like, it didn't matter who I was surrounded by. I got to a point where I looked at myself and I had to make a change.
Yeah.
And I had to surround myself. And at that time, her mom was going to the gym a lot. So she made it a point, I'm going to the gym a lot. I didn't have to go, not have to. I didn't go to the gym a lot, barely. But I was dancing a lot more then. Her mom was doing another career, so she wasn't dancing as much, so she was going to the gym a lot. So Cooper started going to the gym with mom and changed herself. So I'm not going to blame how you grew up, who you grew up with, who your friends are, who you hang out with. But if you're feeling down and you're feeling that kind of way and you're not surrounded by people that are inspiring you, trying to drive you, or even show you, oh shit, you look great, thanks, I've been working out, I take row, or I have a trainer, or oh shit, I want, if you don't have that in your life, you have to figure out where you can find that.
Right. That's very well said. Very well said. In a lot of, as children, we learn our habits from typically our parents or our teachers or, whoever our friends. And if their activity comes a little bit easier for us rather than, if you grew up and all you did was sit around and watch TV or play video games, that may be a little bit harder to push yourself to be more active.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just I have clients that were athletes that come back around and they've gained some weight and they've, gotten out of the habit and the routine. Life happened. They're kids. There's a lot going on. So
It's true.
yeah, so like a client of mine who recently she's lost a lot of weight, and this is exciting because she made the decision and she's doing this. She drinks a lot of wine. Particularly drinks wine, and she'd go through a bottle a night, pretty easy. So she got to a point where she was like, I'm taking Ozempic, the medication for diabetes, and
Right.
tried that, and that made her sick and losing hair and things like that. So, I'm throwing out ideas along the way. She's working out, but, really frustrated. And then she got to a point where she said, I'm just going to stop drinking for, a month or 28 days.
Yeah, it's not forever. You're not quitting. You're just taking a break.
Within the first 3 days, she dropped 5 pounds. 5 pounds. She's still losing weight, but a lot of it is the water retention, that she's gotten, not only from the alcohol, but when we talk, I remind her, okay, when you drink, you order Taco Bell. That's what you do. So there are these patterns, right? There are hacks.
That's right.
To be unhealthy. We want to create hacks to be healthy. And now she's noticed when she's not drinking, she's like, oh my God, I have more energy. She shows up for the workouts. She's like, I'm so positive. My husband likes me more. It's amazing. So pointing, she's like, I don't know if I'll go back to drink. She loves drinking. She loves it. But
Good
she's
wine.
feeling these benefits. And that's why I talked about that paradigm shift, is rethinking, okay, I'm not going to be able to go to these social events and drink with my girlfriend. I'm going to go through a bottle of wine, and I'm not going to go because I don't necessarily want to do that. Maybe I'll do something else, and it's, she's making some of those changes on her own because she's seeing that and she's happier.
Yeah.
And it's totally her, because when you realize what makes you feel better, what gets you out of feeling bad, you
Isn't
want
that
to do it. It's fun. It feels good.
That's a healthy addiction.
The other thing, and again, it's just interesting to listen to it, because you can't tell somebody. They have to feel it. You can kind of guide them there, right?
Yeah.
Or remind them what it feels like, but they've got to feel it again. Said, oh, a friend of mine's going to do it too. She noticed I was losing weight, and she got motivated. And usually the spouse does it too when
supportive.
the person's doing it. But going back to like your child, when they see you doing it, it's more natural for them to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely.
It's very powerful.
It is. It really is. It was really impressive to see it with my Cooper, and not that she just chose a healthier way to eat and exercise, and she didn't like doing school sports and stuff of that nature. She was physical and tried things, but she didn't. It's not like she played softball in high school or played, or track and field or whatever. She had done activities, so she found that for herself and likes the way she feels. She, and yeah, that alcohol, man, it's interesting that you said now she doesn't want to as much maybe go hang with those friends and that's, you'll have one side of the coin that says, well, you can't handle your alcohol then if you can't willing to go out in public and not drink and hang out with your friends.
Yeah.
That's that social pressure BS.
Right.
But there's also that, no, I actually am just interested in doing other things now.
True.
Than going to go eat, talk shit with my friends, and drink bottles of wine. I actually want to go draw, or I want to go paint, or I want to go play golf, or I want to, whatever.
Well, that's the power of habit. So, something, your body does something good, it wants to do more good things to make it feel better. Use your brain, use, your body. Like, we have these mechanisms that human nature is to want to use them, and if we don't, that's when we start feeling down. We don't feel as good, we don't move as good, we get injuries, we do stupid shit.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Being stuck on a ship, eating cheese and wine for a couple weeks is a definite different behavior than being here and walking 2 days of golf and taking my kid around. It's like, talk about different conversation, different mental state, different sleep patterns. I feel like my last 2 months I've been, 4 different people, and I enjoy being home, but I enjoy working. But you have to know, like you said, if you can establish good habits for yourself, it doesn't matter what brings and where your life goes in and out. If you have those 2 rules, 3 rules, 4 rules, whatever it is, I had 2 cocktails today, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I'm
make
just
your
going to drink
rules. Make
whatever
your
it
rules
is.
and stick to them.
Stick to it.
'em. And what I mentioned before, the coolest thing is people will start noticing and they will want to do the same thing, especially when they see the progress you're making.
Mhm.
Whether it's physical, whether it's, them seeing you happier, more excited, more productive. People notice that. People gravitate toward that. They want that. So
Yeah.
that is also like the chain effect. It was interesting because today I was at work and I was walking by we have massage therapists and they have these tables, out in the gym where they give sample massages to members to get them to come, buy their service to give them a little trial.
Mhm.
And I was walking by and they're so nice. I was like, oh, let me give you a little massage. And I was like, no, that's for the members. Like, no, sit down. You're a trainer. You're helping people. And it was just so neat to hear this particular massage therapist. She's like, I want to help you, make you feel better because you're going to help a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And it just really, it made me, it touched me and I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
And it felt great. And she helped me.
Absolutely.
But it also made me think about the chain effect of all of that. Like what happens, when you take care of yourself, like getting back to that, like
Yeah.
trying to achieve that well-being so you're better for your other people, you're more productive in your life and you feel better, but you're better for a lot of other people. And then they're better because you're better. So again, that, whole paradigm shift and it's not blowing smoke up your ass. It's
No.
a real thing and I see it all the time. So it's a matter of getting other people to see it and feel it.
It is. And to bring it back to sleep just for a second, it's I noticed that, for instance, I was asked to, just because 'tis the season, it's holiday season. So I start getting these emails of this Friday night or that next Saturday night or something of that nature, and it's in Hollywood or it's in wherever it is, and it's far. And I have less and less, it's not an age thing, I just have less and less of wanting to go do certain events and hangouts and gatherings. It doesn't mean I don't want to, it just means I choose not to because I'd rather get sleep.
Yes.
I'd rather not deprive myself of spending time with my kid or spending time with my love of golf or the things that I want to do so that I know that I don't have to drive late at night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to pay extra for an Uber.
Yeah.
Or really just, gosh darn it, it's past 10 o'clock. I'd rather already be home.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a party or gathering, family related, sometimes you put that hierarchy above or whatever. But anyways, again, I thought of that the other night. I was like, wow, okay, there's 3 things in the next 2 weekends and maybe I'll go to 1.
Yeah.
Because I can't do that lack of sleep on that weekend, man. Because then I turn into dad mode, school, waking up early, taking my kid, what's your priorities?
Well, that's a great example because one of the things that it's like kind of a pet peeve of mine is when I hear people say something about taking care of yourself or working out is kind of a selfish thing. It like alludes to that, or you can do that and I can't, I don't have time for that. That
Interesting, yeah.
What you just said was really good because, or you don't want to come to this party because, oh, excuse me, or you have to do this or that. And I hear this, like people feel guilty. They get these social pressures of, you're and it takes kind of some, like we talked about prioritizing, but also thinking about how actually that's kind of unselfish because if you have friends or children or other responsibilities, of course, you are trying to make yourself better for those things
right.
again.
That's right.
And you talked about going to events. Maybe those events are important and you can't see those people, but you're getting rest and doing the things you can so you can see them in a different time and connect with them more, which is a whole other podcast about connecting
That
with
is
each other,
a
which is part
great
of health
point of view.
Yeah, in a
Yeah.
real way.
Yeah.
And thinking about that, you're thinking about not only your sleep in that case, but there's a whole lot of other things that are going into your, I can hear it and tell into that thought process, which is
It's definitely
pretty
that.
cool.
Definitely that. I mean, every blue moon, meaning probably every 4 years now, there seems to be a few of us, these amazing ladies that try and do a dancers reunion. Everybody's getting older, people are passing away, all that kind of stuff, just to see some faces, and I like stuff like that. That's too many people in one room, but you never see them often anyways.
Right.
But when there's some random things, it's like, I don't mind going, but there's really only 2 people I really wanted to hang out with or see or catch up with. So I'd much rather it be, just as you were saying, on a just a better situation, more invested in a conversation during a lunch versus just in passing and being overwhelmed by whom and whatever.
Or maybe that event whatever it is important.
Yeah.
But you're thinking about the next day and you don't do something else the next day. I mean, maybe, it's a recovery day. It's spending more time, just you figure out doing something with your daughter that's chill, but you get that time in, but you're thinking about things in terms of health and well-being. And I think that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Not saying no to every party, but prioritizing things so you can be healthy, so you're happy or feel better for the people around you and what you're doing, and more productive. It's so interesting how we think, how our thought process is. So making it simple in a way where, there's all these complexities that come out of it in a good way, but making it simple. Take 20 minutes a day, exercise, whatever exercise is to you.
Yeah.
Do that. And then if it's more, if it's a little less, okay, but you're getting in the habit and get it to where it is every day. Maybe you miss a day, but don't be too hard on yourself. It's like when I get somebody in the pool and I'm training them and we're doing these drills and they're trying to learn to keep their head down, perfect technique. You're gonna mess up somewhere along the way. Professional swimmers, Michael Phelps, like his every breath isn't perfect, but you're getting it in and you're getting it done and you're getting in the habit.
That's cool that you do the pool too.
Yeah, a lot of people really enjoy it because you can do it forever.
It's water.
There were this was great. I gotta tell a story. So I was training this evening, earlier this evening, one of my clients in the pool, and he's in there and he's executing all the drills really well. And I look over in the other lanes and there's 3 older fellas in there, and one of them's like, "Hey, you look so good." And he's talking to my client, Michael, who's like, "That's amazing." And he points over, he's like, "This is my uncle. Guess how old he is?" And we're like, "How old?" He's like, 91. He did not look 91. But he's like, "Isn't the pool great?" And, Michael and I looked at each other. He's 55 and 45. Like, wow, there's your example of like swimming, longevity of that. It's non-weight bearing. You get resistance. It's so therapeutic. It's a good workout.
Yep. Absolutely.
Swimming is unbelievable.
It's a nice pool, man.
It's nice,
Olympic size pool, or? So
it's one of the 3 in this area. There's West Lake Agora, there's the Y, there's I forget the other, it's a university or school. There's a pool, and then there's
Christian Oaks.
Maybe Christian Oaks.
That's good. They got a beautiful pool.
Yeah, and then you have Equinox. So as far as people getting pool memberships and training, we're one of like the 3 in this small area. And
so you can do just a pool membership?
You can do I don't think you can just do a pool membership, but you can do, like, some people will do a summer membership. You can do like a shorter period of time.
Okay, that makes sense.
But there's people that come there just for the pool.
See, moral of the story
Yeah.
is, look for your local places of that nature, because
Mm-hmm.
people have trouble going, I don't want to pay for a gym membership. I used to never use it,
Yeah.
and it was a waste of money. So
Right.
now for the rest of my life, I think of gym and wasting money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's
So
a habit.
That's the habit. And
Yeah.
that's not necessarily, so
Yeah.
maybe you could baby step, go check out that gym and say, can I do a 3-month and I'll just use the pool and shower here or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Steam room, whatever.
You almost gotta
some
get-
people just go there for the steam room.
Fine.
And that's your 20 minutes.
But
of
now
exercise.
you're at least steaming at the gym versus
Yeah.
it's a waste of money.
Right. Well, it's funny you say that, and I think we brought this up in another talk we had or podcast, but we were talking about this where people join gyms that are very cheap and they never use it, and gyms account for that. They know
Oh.
a certain percentage of the membership is not going to show up.
Yep.
So they charge less, they get more people, and that is their business structure. That's how they make money.
Yeah.
So higher end gyms that charge more, people show up more. They can't account for that loss of having people there every day. So it's interesting. If you're paying more, you will do more.
Yeah.
And it's the value you put on something. If we charge less at that gym, we wouldn't get the same kind of commitment from people.
And that's what
And
you
I
want.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that because you get a lot of productivity.
Sure.
So that is used, and additional services are used because people want, they are paying for it, they're going to use it. They're not going to miss. They're not. Some people come twice a day there,
Yeah.
every day.
I could see that. I could see
Yeah,
that.
yeah. But the pool is really nice. I mean, it's definitely an activity that I would recommend to almost anybody, especially just learning how to swim. You get so much out of it. And there's a lot of emotions people go through when they're learning. There's a lot of frustration, there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of enthusiasm. I mean, it's just interesting what comes out of that. Because it's a skill. It's being in the water, we come from water. It's something that we are used to, but if you don't do it on a regular basis, you're not used to. And your parasympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight, will say, my face is in the water, I can't breathe, I'm drowning. So
That's a thing, isn't it?
oh, absolutely. And that's when I'm teaching people that have not had their head in the water to swim, sometimes we'll do breathing exercises to change their state of mind because there is a, response.
Yeah.
Sometimes just getting in open water. I've got somebody who's training for Ironman Melbourne, and in Australia, and they haven't been in the open water in a while, so we're getting them in the ocean to swim so they don't panic. Even though they've swam in the open water, it's again, nervous system response. It's different.
Sure.
Waves are coming at you. You don't have landlines. You're, having to sight to know where to go. There's all these things that
Focus
your brain-
distractions in a way too. Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, you jump in the ocean. It's
all
like,
the time.
Yeah,
I have no fear, no care, no
yeah,
whatever.
You're comfortable.
But I used to say this, when I worked on Miss America for 20 years, not every contestant was a dancer,
Yeah.
and I really took for granted the fact that I was a movement specialist, as my friend Gustavo
Yeah.
would say for us. We're movement specialists. It's what we do.
yeah.
Not everybody's a movement specialist. So anyways, I look at people that not afraid to get in the water, but
Yeah.
it's uncomfortable, or they don't want to get their hair wet, or they don't want to put their face in, or everything is just almost annoying about it. Meanwhile, water to me is just, it's like taking a breath. It's calming, it's relaxing, you can float, or you can swim in it, or you can, it's like
Yeah.
the air we walk through, to me. But
you,
to other
yes.
people, they're
Yes.
like, no, there's a shark.
Right.
There's a wave. The wave, it's going to make me drown. It's going to, we're all built so differently.
Well, you have that you're comfortable in the water.
Comfortable in the water.
You're relaxed.
Yeah.
Your brain is okay with being in the water. It knows that you're safe, and that's. Did you grow up swimming? In the water?
It's so fun. I mean, I don't know. Yes, I grew up swimming. My grandfather built swimming pools, so I think because my mom and we all grew up in the valley, in the San Fernando Valley. So and because Papa built pools, we were always having a pool or near a pool.
Yeah.
And then obviously my Hawaii family, I would always go to Hawaii, and I was swimming in the ocean in Hawaii with that family. So, between the beach here and I mean, talk to someone that's not so close to beaches.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little different being raised in a way, but I was raised by ocean and pools. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting to work with people that grow up swimming versus don't, especially adults. I mean, there's some challenges, but doing the right things or taking the right progressions and steps tends to get them to a point where they are relaxed.
And that's amazing. I love that.
It is cool to see. And I've kind of figured out some progressions where, just getting in the water, breathing, blowing bubbles, things like that, just kind of different drills I do, gradually gets the nervous system it challenges it, but it's enough to where when they overcome it, they're ready for the next step and the next step. And then their brain learns to relax, or their nervous system, I should say. Yeah. And their fight or flight doesn't go off. It's not an emergency. They can breathe. They know they've done it. So it's hard because I'm the same way. I grew up swimming or being comfortable in the water. Yeah. The pool at least. And when I was in high school, I taught swim lessons, and I had babies and adults, and I quickly learned that, I can dunk these babies in the water. And I got formal training, but sure. I knew that those babies would adapt like that. And they did. They knew to blow out underwater, and they knew how to float and relax.
Natural human survival.
Yeah. Right. But when I had a little bit of an older adult group that had some fears, just a little more challenging, more energy, more steps. So over the years, learning those steps has made it easier for me to teach.
That's cool. Yeah.
And everybody's a little different, but for the most part, it's just getting comfortable in the water. And this is a whole. We could have some people actually talk about this because it's a whole.
Well, to kind of bring it a little bit, I think we can learn from that in the aspect of allowing yourself to shut off so that you can calm yourself and get a good night's sleep. Some people can't shut off from their work, they can't shut off from social media, they can't shut off from their domestic situation, they can't shut off from, you're always a parent, but sometimes you can say, no, at what age do you let your kid, no, you need to be in the bath and brush your teeth, and you know what to do now. Yeah. You're teaching them to be a responsible young adult as well. So at what point do we shut off so that we can go, all right, I'm fed, I'm good, I took care of what I need to, and now I'm going to relax. And I'm going to do what I need to so that I can get a good night's sleep too.
Yeah, I mean, some people are just really good at that and can do that. And then there's other people that can be really good at that. Most people can be in general, but need somebody to mirror or enforce or remind or do it with. It just really depends on the person, but there's a high degree of importance in that, and I think everyone should have their routines and healthy habit hacks for their well-being, because if not, then you're just going to get in a state where it's always going to be, I think, difficult to feel consistently anything.
I agree.
And then you can't make adaptations in a certain way to change that. So whether, I don't care if it's like, okay, I'm going to make my bed every morning and brush my teeth. that's a healthy habit.
Sure.
And it's getting in, some kind of routine. So you got to start with something.
Simple.
It's simple. What is it? Keep it simple.
Stupid.
Silly.
Silly. No, why you gotta be? You're trying to motivate yourself, and then you're ending it with stupid.
But a lot of things are simple. That's what I mentioned before. It's simple. Keep it simple, but it's there's all these complexities that come out of it. But it is very simple.
Yeah.
It is. It's 20 minutes a day.
I like it. I mean, again, that's why I've walked the last couple days when I golf. It gives me that much more physical activity in addition to playing the sport.
Right.
And yes,
right.
golf is a sport.
Yeah.
But then on the days like today where I just wanted to do some house stuff and catch up on some computer stuff,
Yeah.
I rearranged Eden's bedroom and picked up things and put things down.
And that is being active.
And clean the front of the, be active.
Yes.
Be physical. I didn't
That
just
is.
sit and watch TV and,
Yeah,
have
maybe-
9 cocktails,
Yeah, maybe you're not doing an hour or two of weightlifting, but that's not necessary. But for some people, we talked about the variations and different levels. Just think about what you need, because that's the only way. If you compare yourself to others all the time, you're not going to get anywhere for yourself.
Correct.
Compare yourself to yourself the day before, and then it's easy. It's
Yeah.
easy.
Because I always think about you in the way of, what you do. You're always at the gym, you're training people, you're doing your own errands in your own life and stuff of that nature. I'm like, shit, I know she's working out somewhat today. I got to do something. I need my legs to look like Chris's legs, man. That's ridiculous. My daughter said, Daddy, you're losing your butt. I don't want to lose a butt. I need to put Chris's butt on my butt. I need, I'm always compared to my friends that work out,
Right. Well, that could be a motivator.
It's a huge motivator, especially when you got, your 10-year-old saying, your shoulders to your calves are one flat line, Daddy. I'm like, damn, why you gotta say all that? She's 10, reading me.
Jesus, she's smart. Look at her dad.
Gotta work out. I'm going up and down stairs. I'm up forget shit all the time just so I can go up and down stairs.
Yeah, run up and down the stairs. There you go. Get those glutes to fire. Glutes.
He looks fit, but he's got Alzheimer's. Anyway. Oh my gosh.
That's great. Well, I think we talked about some good things. Just to sum it up.
Yeah.
Try to plan some good routines. Like, what's your sleep routine? What's your exercise routine? Make sure that you have thought about yourself, each day, and that's going to help your whole world.
It doesn't hurt to write it down too.
Yeah.
Put it on your fridge, put it in, in your bathroom on the mirror, or whatever it is. Everybody functions and remembers and responds differently.
Oh, especially if you have kids. If you do a little whiteboard, they have a bunch of stuff on Amazon now, but you can put like the daily tasks or whatever it is and give them stars, and then after a certain number of stars, they get, a reward or dessert or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that you said that, because journaling or writing it down, or the whiteboard especially, like, okay, my cousins had this. It was so cute. Each morning when they get up, brush your teeth, brush your hair, and their dad, they call Jerry, was called Jer Bear. They wrote Jer Bear shaves. Like, it was just so cute, because they knew what they wrote down his tasks, but their tasks around, like, he's doing something and I'm doing something.
That's right.
And then they get the habit, and you don't have to worry about your child because they know what to do. It's habit for them. You shouldn't have to worry. And they're learning that as a child.
Right.
They're going to take that with them as an adult. They don't always need somebody to call
Remind
them
them.
or remind them, help them.
That's right.
It's easier for you and them, and you know what you have to do and get out the door on time, or whatever it is.
That's right.
Get to bed on time, or eat dinner.
That regiment, that schedule.
Mm-hmm.
That's important.
Yeah. I think these are really like nuggets, because everyone, I feel like, has some kind of general awareness and knows this.
Of course.
But it's like those reminders and being, like you said, motivated. Like, oh, my friend's got a great ass. Like, I want that.
Like that. Especially when your
How do I
kids
get-
telling you different. Yeah.
Kids telling me you got, like dad
Absolutely.
bod or whatever. That's what-
Dad bod. Dad bod is what you make of it.
yeah, and that can be a motivator in itself.
Yeah. I want my 20-something on my dad bod. I'm blended bods.
Blended bod. Yeah, but we, put pictures up or whatever helps.
Yeah.
You not feel bad, but motivated. Feel
No,
good.
my kids, that on my fridge over there is both my daughters
Yeah.
coming up with a daddy regimen.
Oh, I love
And
it.
I see it every day. And I say, well, I got most of that done. But it's everything from brushing teeth to showering to doing your laundry to drinking lots of water
Yeah.
to having some fruits and vegetables. And it's, things I already love to do, but, it never hurts to know that other people care too.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's one of the things that people always tell me that I am good at, and I think in my life now I've kind of realized this because sometimes it annoys me, but it helps at the same time. But attention to detail. So when I have somebody and we're working on whatever it is, swim technique or their workouts or their nutrition, I'm asking them like, okay, do you get enough vegetables? Like, no, I just like spaghetti sauce. And it's like, well, why don't you throw some veggies like broccolis in the sauce?
Yeah.
And they eat it and like, it was just as good. It was actually better. It was a little crunchy. It was so these like little things that go a long way over time, to help people, and it's kind of fun. Like, you realize, okay, this is not the answer, but it's gonna help get me there. And if I do a lot of these little
That's
things,
it. It's one step at a time. It really is. And it's so hard to quit this, make that left-hand turn, and to do this on the regular now. And, it's like, again, when we've talked about golf, how many swing thoughts do you want to have? I want to have
You always
none.
tell me like, just hit the ball.
Just hit the ball.
Hit the ball, Krista.
When you're driving up to the ball.
And it
or
always works.
Yeah, much easier.
I don't think about all of too
No.
many things.
Too many things is
Yeah.
too much.
Right, hit the ball, take it from there.
Yeah,
I love it because it works.
it does.
It's effective.
We have to go soon.
Yeah.
Well, thanks as always.
Yeah.
I'm glad we get
Thank
together.
you. I know it's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's always productive. It's
Yeah.
always good stuff. Love it.
Well, get some sleep.
All right. Good night.